what he has to tell us now. Thank you, guys. So Felix, if you are here, kindly. Is Felix here? Okay, Honorable. So you have.
De Graft, unmute him, please. The host should unmute him.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay.
Hold on. Yeah, you are muted.
All right. Thank you very much. And I welcome all of us back to this session. In fact, we had a talk with Mr. Kevin Oche, the CEO for Springfield. Unfortunately, his personal assistant sent me a message saying that he finds himself at a place that he cannot engage us today. And so he would get us a date. We would have to talk later on to get an appropriate date that he is willing to engage us. So I think that this evening's talk with Mr. Kevin Oche is suspended or will not come on until such a date that he is available, and then honorable members would be updated accordingly. The other issues that are coming up is with the Judicial Committee's adjudication on the matter that Mr. Franklin Kumasa is also involved in. A letter was sent to the JC, and they were supposed to give a final verdict on. Now the vetting committee is waiting on that, I'll say, explicit decision. Then they will be able to sort of also finalize what they have to do as a vetting committee. As we speak, the Judicial Committee has asked Honorable Franklin Kumasa to provide some documents and letters to them to aid them in coming out with the final decision. Mr. Robert Appiah, Honorable Robert Appiah, is also currently at the vetting committee. He's being vetted. Just a few minutes ago, before we would reconvene, I have received a joint petition from two of the aspirants, Mr. Franklin Kumasa and Mr. Chris. I think, yes. So, and they have brought some matters to Congress to be decided on. And they have cited Article 23.5 and Article 33.1a and 1b. And so I would want the Congress Secretary, Mr. Bernard Boama, to read the letter, and then as the chairman for Congress, I would also lay it before the House and then address it. Now, if there's the need for Congress to decide on that, I would do so accordingly. And so if Mr. Bekoe is online, Secretary General, kindly read the joint petition for us, and then we would proceed from there. Thank you very much.
All right, please let me borrow Honorable Fifi of Wuhan's word. Fantastic. Okay. Okay, so the Congress has been served with a petition that is written and signed by Honorable Franklin Kumasa, aspirant for the NUGS-China presidential position, together with his co-aspirant in the same position, Zankawa Sanusi Momoni, aka Chris of Beijing. I will read. This letter is addressed to Congress, as I said, and this is the title: Petition to annul the votes cast to clear Honorable Robert Appiah and investigate the deletion of G9 delegates from the voter roll. Okay, so I read. Pursuant to the amended NUGS-China Constitution in Article 23, Clause 5, which states, I quote, The Electoral Commission shall be responsible for the conduct of all NUGS-China elections and shall formulate their own modus operandi, which shall not be in contravention with any provisions of this Constitution. Uh, uh, there is no unquote, so I suppose it's in the same quotation. Okay, so the same Constitution in Article 33, Clause 5 states, there's another open quotation. Uh, well, I think okay, anyway, let me read it. So there's a quotation in another quotation, so please take note. So I'll read from the first quotation. The Electoral Commission shall be responsible for the conduct of all NUGS-China elections and shall formulate their own modus operandi, which shall not be in contravention with any provisions of this Constitution. The same Constitution in Article 33, Clause 5 states, and there's another quotation, I quote, the Electoral Commission shall 1A, compile an electoral register, B, make rules for the conduct of elections and publish it to Congress at least 1 hour before voting starts. 2, voting shall be by secret ballot. We feel the decision taken by the General Secretary, okay, to conduct open, not secret voting on an election-related matter is unconstitutional and put the delegates in a fix, intimidation, uncomfortable, and he does not have the locus to perform the function of the Electoral Commission. A member also alleged on the NUGS-China Congress Shanghai 2020 page that their chapter delegates were deleted and the timing of this complaint coincided with the time the voting was being conducted. We humbly call on Congress to annul the vote since it flouts the Constitution and investigate the allegations that G9 chapter delegates were removed by the host as shown in the WeChat evidence below. And so the evidence or the exhibit that is attached is a picture of the Shanghai Congress 2020 page where Honorable Bismarck of G9 chapter is asking a question. The host removed all delegates from G9 chapter. So it's a question that he's asking. Immediate response to these matters will be highly appreciated. Thank you. Sincerely, Franklin Kumasa, Zankawa Sanusi Mumuni, and copy to National Senate, National Judicial Committee, National Electoral Commission, and National Vetting Committee. All right, so that is the petition, Your Excellency.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, go on. Do you have anything left to say? Okay.
I think you can proceed now. I wanted to correct.
Okay.
I don't know if the General Secretary was in reference to me. I'm not General Secretary.
I think that we'll get there. So
okay, right.
they have brought two things to Congress to determine. And the first one is to annul the vote that was cast by Congress because they feel it should have been a secret ballot and that Congress does not have the locus to perform that function. And so I would want to, I think before we proceed with regards to that matter, Article 23(5), I think talks about the Electoral Commission's work. Article 33, 1A and 1B talks about the creation of the voter register and things related to election. Now, I want to state that the petition that was brought sought to give the go-ahead for the aspirant. Either we go with what the Judicial Committee had said, as in his disqualification, or Congress looks at the circumstances and the evidence that was brought before us for a determination so as to allow him to go for vetting. And then if he passes or he goes through it, subsequently he being voted on as the other aspirant. And so, first of all, I would say that this was not a vote. Unfortunately, I got locked out, and so I couldn't join that session. But I know that it was a motion that was brought, and Congress has the power to vote based on a motion. And I would want to dwell on Article 13. We look at the clause 5, 6, and 7. So the 5 states that quorum shall be at least 50% representation of chapters registered to attend Congress, plus the national president and the secretary general or their representatives, and any decision taken shall be binding on all members. The 6 states that for the avoidance of doubt, observers are not to be counted when a quorum is being constituted. Now the question is, was there a quorum? And I believe that was very clear. There was a quorum. The 7 states that decisions shall be, Article 13.7. It says that decisions shall be by simple majority unless otherwise provided for by this constitution. And the 8, okay, a minute. Okay, so the 7 state that decisions shall be made by simple majority unless otherwise provided for by this constitution. Now, if it had been the traditional way, let me put it that way, of Congress, where we had all convened in at one place physically, if there's a motion and we have to vote, members would have to indicate by raising of their hands. In no way will it be a secret ballot, first of all. Now we find ourselves in a situation whereby we are conducting this Congress online. And so the best way, which would be similar to what we are used to or what we know, is by members indicating by the raise of hands. I'm sure that's what was done. And so if it is by simple majority and that was done, I do believe that this was not a secret ballot. First of all, it's not an election. It was not a matter of a voter register that was being put together. And so I believe that Article 13, 5, 6, and 7, if we read it, cures this problem or petition that the petitioners have brought to Congress. Now, with the issue of the Jinan delegates being taken out from the page, I do believe that all the delegates on the Congress page, an instruction was given. And so once that was done and honorable members did not adhere to it, I believe that, so for the avoidance of doubt, I believe the General Secretary is here and he can explain to Congress the circumstances under which this was done. And I think that it wasn't done for any malicious intent. And so, Secretary General, if you're here, I believe that you can throw more light on it. And then this petition, I believe the Article 13 has actually dealt with that. This was not an election. It was in no way an intimidation as stated in the petition. So Honorable SG, if you are here, kindly throw more light on why the Jinan delegates were deleted. Thank you. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, hello. Okay, yes. Now
Okay.
my mic is okay now. All right, so thank you, Your Excellency. Okay, so please, I personally did not take anybody out of the voting room, please, or from this page. And I think they said the host of the Congress, I was a co-host, so we will have to ask all the co-hosts if they actually deleted anyone. And to say all delegates from Jinan were taken out is not true, because in the vote count, there is Mr. Akamba, there is an Akamba from Jinan who was here. So I don't know why maybe some will be taken off and some not. I personally didn't take anyone off. So that issue of maybe on which method, there isn't any taking off for even me to defend. I didn't take anyone off. I gave suggestion that if you don't change, maybe your vote wouldn't be counted, or we might not be able to count your vote because we will not know in which designation. Later on, I think we agreed to use the register that I have with the delegates to compare, and that is how we checked. So there was no essence or no need for us to take anybody off. But I think I have my co-host here. If they can also attest to the fact that whether they deleted someone or not. And I think from their accusation, for someone just simply asking, were Jinan members taken off? I don't think any host of this platform answered a yes, that they took anyone off. And so if they have an evidence of maybe something like a screenshot or anything saying they have been taken off, I think that will do. I think that will do. If they have something to say so that we know who took them off and the reason the person took them off, and we can decide whether based on that we should annul our decision that we took earlier. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, so Honorable SJ, thank you very much. I believe that, okay, there's who? Samuel.
Yeah, Honorable Felix, thank you very much. Yeah, it's Sam.
Okay, yes, Sam, go on.
I'm highly surprised at this allegation personally, why we can be accused of taking people off the platform. But let me give a simple basic knowledge about this. If someone takes you off Zoom, if a host takes you off Zoom and it's the same address and it's the same password, it's likely you can't even join this meeting again. You can't even join. And when you key in Jinan into the participants group, we have a lot of them here. So the question is, which one of them did we kick off? And exactly what the secretary said, if anyone, because if someone kicks you off Zoom, it will give you a screenshot that you have been kicked off by the host. Please, if we kick you off and you have evidence to attest to it, please submit it and that person will be held liable. But for all we know, if even a co-host kicks you off a meeting, it's likely you cannot even join again. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's, hello.
Yes, okay.
This is Collins, the head of technical team for the media and publicity. It's quite strange for us to hear that delegates from Jinan were deleted from the Zoom. Just as Honorable Sam was saying, if an admin is to delete anybody from the Zoom meeting, that person will receive a notification that he or she has been removed from the Zoom meeting. So if you have been removed from the Zoom meeting, you will definitely be notified and you should have an evidence to that. And once you've been removed, there's no way you can join the meeting again. If an admin should remove somebody right now, that person cannot join the meeting again. So if somebody has been removed, it means the person cannot join the meeting again.
Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Collins. I believe that SG, if you can quickly give me the yes and no votes, if you can just give me what the result was for the no and yes votes.
Okay, so thank you very much. So for the no and yes votes, the yeses were 46 and then the no's were 16.
16. All right. Thank you very much. So I believe this settles it. We do not need to drag this issue. Now, even if all the 5 delegates were present and they voted yes, I do not think that it would have changed the outcome of the vote. And so this matter of the deletion does not really affect the decision of Congress. And so I thank Mr. Zankawa, Mr. Kumasa. I believe this is all in the interest of the union. We need to test the Constitution and see how best it can work for all of us. We are all students of this, learning the Constitution, trying to understand it so we can also apply it. So I believe that it's very good for all of us. And so I think that we should not drag this matter.
Okay. I think Honorable Franklin's hand is up.
Okay, Honorable Franklin.
Sam, make me a co-host. Sam, please make me the co-host.
Mr. Franklin, we do not want to drag this issue. I believe that I have said that this was not an election. And so I do not believe that we are all not certain about this. This was not an election, and we've had issues such as these at Congress, and we have voted openly by the raise of hands. I do not think that anyone was intimidated then, and anyone has been intimidated now. And so let us not drag this matter. But I do believe that if some accusations were made and no evidence is there to back it, if we are not careful, we'll give room for honorable members to come up with allegations that they cannot prove. And I believe it might tarnish the image of other honorable members who have worked so hard to ensure that the union stays united and progressive. Now, if you do not have that evidence, then I think that you would have to retract and apologize. I do not know what you have to add to your petition, but I'll just give you a minute to say what you have to say. But I believe that this is clear for all honorable members, delegates to know that this was not an election. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I see
thank
a
you.
hand up. Franklin, do you want to say something?
Yeah. Thank you, Honorable President. Like you rightly put it, we are all trying to make sure that the right person leads us. Our contention has to do with the use of the electoral album. So if you are using a voter register to conduct an election, that falls within the domain of what? EC. So if we had just asked members to raise their hands, then it would be a different issue. But this is the case, we are using a voter register where you have qualified and unqualified members. It is the EC that can make that determination. So that is the point we are making. So I will humbly appeal to the EC to also make a statement on this issue. Once a voter register was used in conducting the election, the General Secretary cannot make that determination. This is a delegate or this is not a delegate.
Honorable Franklin, thank
so
you. Please, I didn't use the EC's voters register. I used people who are able to form part of Congress. I didn't use to make that decision that we made. I didn't use EC's voters register. I only made reference to people who are qualified to be part of the Congress decision. So I didn't go to borrow a voters register from EC. I don't have their voters register, please. So I think that one too is an allegation. What we try to do is to make sure that everyone that takes part in our decision that Congress is making is an eligible person to take part in that decision. And I think that is why I made that cross-reference. We couldn't just allow any observers to take part because they are on this platform, and you know that they are not part of Congress. So does that mean I've taken over the work of Electoral Commission? I think you can answer me with that.
Yeah, that's the argument we are making. Once you are doing a distinction.
So answer me, if I make sure that the decision that Congress make is made by people who are supposed to form, per the Constitution, people who are supposed to take part in this decision, have I gone to borrow the register from Electoral Commission?
What I'm saying is that the the list. So
Honorable Franklin, Honorable
yeah.
Franklin, please hold on. I have
I don't understand.
have a member. I have a member of the ECA, Dr. Michael Adney here, who is part of the Electoral Commission. So I'll give him the chance to brief us on this matter. Thank you. Please, can you unmute him?
Michael Adney, yes. Okay, hold on. Okay, Honorable, you can unmute yourself, Mr. Adney.
Okay, I have done so. Good morning from Accra. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, SG, and Honorable Franklin, and other members. I just want to clarify something. I believe the JC is aware of all that is going on, but I want to draw Honorable Franklin's attention to the fact that the petition came to Congress. And Congress, we usually vote by the physically present. And the president is the chairman of the Congress. And the reason why the general secretary, the secretary general took over was because he was delegated to do so, which is right constitutional. The president can delegate anybody to act on his behalf. So if we are to go by these rules, like even Parliament has 10 orders. So Congress here is analogous to Parliament, where they vote, even sometimes by raising hands, or however they decide to go about it. So I don't think going back and forth is really helpful if it comes to the voting. The Electoral Commission is independent, but we all know that it's part of an executive body. They cannot dictate how Parliament should go about its business. And we don't remember when Commission. So
Honorable Adney, please, we are losing you. I think we lost the gentleman.
No, I have finished. I have finished talking.
Okay.
Please, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. We can.
I have finished my submission. I was just saying that I think the voting was correct. It followed due process. It followed due process. So we should just allow Mr. Chairman to continue with the points. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Nixon, would you like to add anything to what Dr. Michael Adney has said? Please, he says unmute him.
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Please turn on the lights for me. Good evening. Just a quick one. This same situation happened in Congress last year, of which Honorable Franklin was there. And this same procedure we are using here was what was used. I was there as an electoral commissioner, and I never got involved in this situation. So I don't know why today, when we have precedents from last year, he is referring the Electoral Commission into this issue. Because one, we have precedents. Now two, the Electoral Commission doesn't come into this because that wasn't the total voter register. The total voter register includes committee members, aspirants, the chair of Senate, of which wasn't part of the data that was used. So we can't call it the voter register. He used a list of delegates, which we can say, but that wasn't the voter register. And since by the clarification of Mr. President, this wasn't an election. The EC has got no business to do with this issue. So based on precedents from last year, the same procedure was used in determining the candidature of Honorable SG and Mr. President, if I'm not listening. And then the voter register wasn't what was used. It was just delegate because Senate and NEC aspirants and committee members were not part of the list. So that doesn't constitute a voter register. And then the constitution that Mr. President has read, this is a motion. It wasn't an election. So I'll plead that EC has got no issue with this. So on the issue of EC, I think there is no case to be argued on this now. Thank you very much.
Okay, all right, just point of correction. In as much as, okay, we used the delegates as the constitution mandate for us to use to get the quorum. But then the decision was made by the whole Congress, all right. But I did not use or go to the Electoral Commission for them to compile a list for me. We only used members of Congress to make a decision, which is also constitutional. Okay, so I think, Honorable Chairman, you can take over.
So I think that this petition is not, I would say it's not valid. It doesn't need the Congress to proceed in interrogating it because the Constitution has a cure for it, as well as how Congress is conducted. I believe the Appendix 1 would also, like I said yesterday, actually gives us or guides us in how we conduct meetings, Congress, and such activities. And so Mr. Zankawa and Mr. Kumasa, thank you very much. But I do believe that the accusation of delegates from Jinan being deleted, as you said, if there is no evidence to back that, then I think that the honorable thing to do is to apologize to the honorable members involved, and then I believe we can move on. Thank you very much.
Honorable Chairman.
Hello.
Yes, please. Honorable Franklin, you can talk about.
Yeah, we have provided a WeChat conversation. That is the evidence we have. So if you say you don't have evidence, then I think that is not wholly true. We have given you evidence. A member has complained. So maybe we can verify from the member, why did he make that statement before you can conclude that it
all
was,
right. Okay, Honorable Chairman, please, permission to. Okay, Honorable Franklin, please, is the member here? And actually the screenshot you sent is a question that has no answer to it.
Yeah.
The person is
so
asking.
Yeah, so that's why we are saying it's an alleged something. So you want the Congress to investigate.
I don't think it, okay, all right. Let's call the person here. Is the person here in this room?
And if I may come in, Honorable Franklin, please, did you all?
Okay, Chairman, you're okay. I think we are losing Chairman. And let me take over.
Also
okay.
Not.
Okay, he's back. He's back.
And people's reputation may be dragged through the mud. So I think that it is not the right thing to do, even though I do appreciate your proactiveness in ensuring that the Constitution works. I think that maybe you should have gone a step further to find out what necessitated that. Anyway, Mr. Samuel, your hand is up.
Okay, honorable member.
A quick, please.
Yeah, very quick. I'll make it snappy. I'm very kind of, sorry to say, disappointed in this argument by our Honorable Franklin. I think that in as much as we are here because of issues like this, sometimes we have to also have application of certain things that we learn. Honorable, if someone submits a petition to you, you have to verify before you bring as an allegation to ruin the reputation of hardworking people who are here on the technical team. Because if someone gives you a screenshot that people have been removed, I think, Honorable, you are our learned friend. You can ask the person, can you give evidence that you were removed from the platform? Before you come to ruin people's reputation into this, that host or co-host remove people from an election process.
Please, easy, Honorable Sam.
No,
Okay.
I think we have to respect people's work. Please, no one is here to destroy anything.
Okay, all right. I'm trying to find that screenshot anyway, but I don't think there was any affirmative answer to the question the person asked. It was a question, and all delegates of Jinan were not removed. I've proven to you that there was a Kamba of Jinan who was here. So that allegation itself, the question to it, the answer to that question is no. So if you are basing your submission on that, I think it is no. There was a Kamba of Jinan who is a delegate here. So not all Jinan members were not removed. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so I believe that this matter has, we've made a determination on this matter. Thank you very much, Honorable Kumasa. I believe that in going forward, in as much as we want to put our constitution to work and ensure that things are done in the right manner, we would also take it upon ourselves to interrogate such allegations before we drag the reputation of our honorable members in the mud. So thank you very much. Now,
yeah, so if the advice is well noted, so if there is anybody that this petition has affected, we sincerely apologize. You know, we are just one family. There's no need to antagonize one another. So, Honorable Sam, we are just bringing this to your attention, not to impugn, wrong to your personality. So thank you very much. And sorry for anyone who has been hurt by this petition. Thank you. And to your good self, Brazil.
The Ombudsman, thank you very much. I think that's an honorable thing to do. And I would beg of all of us that we seek to make decisions at Congress that would enhance the working of NUGS-China. And so the decisions we take here, like the Constitution says, is binding on all of us. Let us not see it as some individuals who are trying to hijack the union, because that would not work or would not hold. We are guided by the Constitution, and in some cases by precedents and all that would actually enhance our work. And so I thank you very much for doing the honorable thing. Now, like I said, the Judicial Committee is supposed to make a determination per the request of the vetting committee in a matter that involves Honorable Franklin Kumasa. He's been asked to provide some documents to the JC for them to come to a finality on that matter. As we speak, the aspirant, Mr. Robert Nanapia, is also being vetted. Now, okay, so hello.
Before you conclude on the petition issue, can I say something? I think if Mr. Franklin has rendered an apology, don't you think we also deserve an apology from the second signatory to the petition?
I think it's in order. It's in order. So if Mr. Zankawa is here, I think he should also do the honorable thing since he was also a co-petitioner. So if he's online, I believe that he has to do the honorable thing. Please, is Honorable Zankawa online, please?
I'm trying to find.
He's
Please,
unmuted.
Honorable
I've unmuted
Zankawa, you
him.
can raise your hand.
I've unmuted him actually. So he should unmute himself now.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, as said earlier, if this petition or if these allegations that we've made, I mean, in any way had affected our hardworking technical team, I think I apologize for bringing this up, and then I wish to also state that this is a family affair. I mean, we're all fighting for the betterment of NUGS. So bringing up some of these things are to test, I mean, our constitution and all that. And as you ruled on this issue, I think it is quite understandable. And maybe going forward, we'll have to dig deep, I mean, to get concrete evidence and all that before we come up with these allegations. On this note, I again say sorry to Honorable Sam and all all our honorable members, I mean, backstage, doing the giving us the technical support and all that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Zankawa. That was a good one. Like I keep saying, now if Congress ends, whoever becomes or the honorable members who would form NEC and the Senate and all the other committees will still need to work together. And so let us try as much as possible that whatever we do here would actually unite us, so that whilst we leave Congress, we leave more united than even we came. So I believe that this would guide our dealings. It will guide the activities and the hearings that we have during Congress. So like I was saying, we are supposed to have the declaration of vetting results as well as the manifesto reading. Now, as we all are aware, we know what has gone on. It seems 2020 is indeed a very special year, a good year at that, depending on how you want to see it. NUGS is also having its fair share, our constitution being tested and all that. So I think that moving on, once we have not been able to get the finality of the decision from JC and also the vetting for Honorable Nana Appiah having not been concluded, I still think that Congress will still have to wait for these decisions to be made. And whilst that is done, we can take our vetting declaration results, and then honorable members can read their manifestos. Then possibly, if there's enough time, we vote. And so per what the Constitution says, I think that we still do not have the liberty to sort of campaign yet. And it's unfortunate, but these matters come up and we have to deal with it. And so, like I kept saying, hopefully in 2021, when we have the Constitution amendment, some of these things that are not stated clearly, I believe we can look at it and work on that to enhance our dealings. And so if the House would agree, I believe that we would have to suspend again, and then we wait for the verdict from the JC as well as the vetting committee, and then we'll be able to carry on with today's program or activities. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you, Honorable Felix.
Please let me add that yes, speaker, unfortunately, he got back to us and said he cannot be present tonight. due to an engagement he has to attend to, and so he'll get back to us at a later date. We'll be able to have that talk or that session. Now, I'm unable to give a specific time to reconvene because I'm not sure when the documents will be tendered in by Mr. Kumasa for JC to also do what they are supposed to do. So I believe that since we are all on the Congress page, once there's an update, then Congress will be alerted to reconvene again. And I believe that as individuals who have been given the mandate by our chapters and the general membership of NUGS-China, when we are called upon, I think that we should try and be present. Like I said, 2020 is indeed a special year, and we are having our own special time as well. And so honorable members would be alerted as to when to converge here. Thank you very much. Okay, please, Mr. Joshua Fifi Ahia Simensa, what I see your hands up, and Mr. Gilbert Owusu Afriye. So I'll give you a minute each to speak, and then we'll take our break. Thank you very much. Does it have anything to do with what we have discussed already? If that is so, then I'm sorry we cannot go back to that. So please kindly unmute Mr. Hiasi Mensah.
Mr. Ho?
Hello, Mr. President. I think I'd have to make a quick one on this. I think the petitioners had to circulate the petition across the NUGS-China portals. I believe it's in order that since they did that way, they should also equally do in writing, apologize and retract whatever petition they brought before Congress. I believe Congress should direct them in the same vein they did it in writing. They should also do in writing their retraction one and the apology two. I believe that's purely in order. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Gilbert Owusu Afriye. Please, can he be unmuted, please? Please, can you unmute Mr. Afriye?
Yes, I've unmuted him. He has to unmute himself and then talk. Gilbert, can you speak now?
Okay. Okay, hello. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much.
Mr. Afriye, please, we cannot hear you.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
It's okay now. Okay, Mr. Gilbert, I guess you're having some network issues. I don't know if you would like to come back again with your submission or question. I find it difficult to hear you. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes. We can't hear a thing of what you're saying.
Hello?
Mr. Gilbert, you have unmuted you again, so try talking and let's see if it will be better this time.
Hello, can you hear me now, please?
Yes.
Yeah.
Your network is the worst, honestly. It's like immediately when you say, "Can you hear me now?" Then the next thing is just silence. So I don't know if maybe you can reposition yourself and then you come in with your submission. Thank you. Honorable Franklin, I can see your hand still up. Do you want to still ask questions or make submission? Okay, so the hands are lowered now. Yeah, sorry, Felix, I've unmuted you so you can talk.
Yes, please. I think my network went off. So, is Mr. Ifiye done?
He was having a little bit of a network issue and he was asked to reposition himself. I don't know if he's good now to ask his question. Honorable Gilbert, are you okay now? Okay, I've unmuted you. Gilbert,
Hello,
so if
please.
you yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I think that you can write in the chat box, so we move on.
Okay, so kindly send your submission or question to the chat. I will read it to Honorable Felix to assist you accordingly.
Okay. Okay, so I think that we would have to suspend. I would suspend sitting for now, and then we'll reconvene when these matters that I have put before the House is concluded on, then delegates and honorable members will be asked to reconvene again. And I also believe that since these letters were posted on our platforms and on our whole pages, it would also be honorable enough to actually deepen our interaction in democracy, and also to show that, yes, when we err, we are honorable enough to accept. And so I would kindly ask Mr. Zankawa and Mr. Kumasa to put the apology in writing so that honorable members who felt defamed would also at least get some satisfaction from that. Also, let us desist from calling people names. Now, all these would go a long way to help our deliberation as a union. And so we shouldn't see everything that is brought here as a nuisance or something that is actually going to drag us. I believe all these things come together. All these things come together to help our deliberation as Congress of this noble union. And so I think it's 8 o'clock now, 8 p.m. now. I'll give the honorable members at least 10 minutes to do that, to put that letter together, put a copy on the Congress page, as well as the whole, I think I saw them on the whole pages as well. It will be posted there so that honorable members would know that whatever Congress is doing is serious, and we are not, we have not been taken over by our emotions. Thank you very much.
All right, Felix, before you go, Honorable Gilbert Owusu-Afriyie has sent us his view via the chat. He said, and I quote, "All I wanted to say was that their apology should be put into writing, and also the issue on Honorable Franklin, our sending some documents to the JC must be time-bound so as to avoid waste of time." Okay, so this was what he wanted to say.
Okay, thank you very much.
Please, before we adjourn,
okay.
I'm so sorry. Actually, I think this message appeared on my PC. Please, Congress, forgive me. So I didn't see it. Now the person has prompted me again. There is this letter to Congress, which was sent, according to my screen, 5:35 p.m. by Honorable Zankawa Sanusi. And so please, I think it is addressed to Congress. So before I even open, Congress should be ready so that I say, Honorable Chairman, if you would allow me to read what it says. Honorable Chairman.
Okay, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, so this is the letter. It says sent by Zankawa Sanusi Mumuni and signed School of International Trade and Education, UIBE, Department of Economics, Beijing, signed on the 12th July, that is today, NUGS-China, Congress 2020. Dear Congress, Mr. Zankawa Sanusi Mumuni is not a member of any political party. Okay, so that's the heading. In it, he says, I write to clarify the allegations brought against me by Mr. Pierre Robert, who are aspirant. I would like to categorically state that I don't belong to any of such political grouping. Also, the exhibit attached to his petition is a clear fabrication that can be done by anyone from his or her bedroom. I implore Congress to demand Mr. Pierre Robert to bring concrete evidence rather than relying on his fabrications to win sympathy votes. Failure to do this must call for the retracting, must call for he retracting this allegation and to further render an unqualified apology to me for dragging my hard-won reputation into disrepute. I present myself to serve NUGS and not any individual, and strongly believe my victory shall rest on my laurels and competence. I hereby disassociate myself from this allegation and implore all delegates to disregard what Mr. Apia Robert is sharing accordingly. All right, so that is the letter. Sorry once again, Mr. Sanusi, I just saw this message. I'm so sorry. I just going through my PC and I saw you had sent it earlier on. So I didn't receive the notice on my phone. Okay, so that it was sent at 5:35 p.m. All right, so signed Zankawa Sanusi Mumuni. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable SG. I believe that the person in question is currently being vetted, and so I suggest that we defer it when we reconvene because he has asked for evidence or for further and better particulars. So he needs the pink sheets to show if he belongs to any political party. But the honorable member is not here, and so I do not want us to drag this on. When we reconvene, we'll look at the matter. Thank you very much. And thanks for your patience.
All right, thank you. So Honorable Sanusi, sorry, I didn't see, it wasn't intentional. I'm so sorry. Okay.
Mr. Thompson, okay, his hand is down now. Mr. Kumasa, is this something new or what we've already discussed?
Okay, let me try and unmute Kumasa. You're muted, Kumasa. If you don't have any questions, you can lower your hand.
Yeah, like we said, we'll issue an apology, but what you said you saw the letter on various hall pages. You only shared the letter to the Congress page. You never shared to any other hall page, so I'm lost.
Okay,
you said the letters were shared.
I think this is very easy. It could be that I do not want to speculate. And so if it was on the Congress page, you shared it, kindly put the apology letter there.
So
thank you.
We'll do so.
Thank you.
We'll do so, sir.
Thank you very much. Mr. Pius Babuna, Beijing. If it's in connection with Mr. Robert Apia's allegation that you belong to a political party, I believe that it's been deferred when we reconvene. So if it's about that, then kindly let's wait until that time. Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Mr. Paros, your network, we cannot hear you, please. Mr. Pius, I cannot hear you. Please, I think you should type. I can barely hear you, please. Okay, so I'll suspend Congress for now and then we reconvene. Thank you very much. So honorable members will be notified on the Congress page. Thank you.
All right, Sammy, so you can carry on with the music. Thank you. And thank you, Honorable Felix. Sammy, so which me boy other than one can come up.
And no more boy is here because you see a crash at a new ninja.
So the J Adolfone microphone yan trying vetting results no. But me sure the results in the bapa there. Yan point is into the body them.
Asemo.
DJ Christo.